Initially, as you reported, Golden State, Miami, Cleveland, top priorities. It's another thing to come out with a day or two later and say, Rich Paul has said all options are open. He'll listen to everybody. What does that mean to you coming from LeBron James at this stage and point in his career, 41, approaching 42 years of age, his 24th season? By the way, I don't believe this next season is going to be his last. I think LeBron James' aim is to play a quarter century, to play 25 years. That's what I believe. So I don't believe this upcoming season is going to be his last. I think the season after is going to be his last. But put into perspective, what's the purpose of just leaving his name out there on the open market, being as calculating as he is? What does that accomplish?
I think one is kind of to show that a ton of teams want him, right? And if it's not about the money and it's not a financially driven decision, then yeah, you're going to have a dozen teams lining up. Whether you have a minimum, whether you have an exception, whether you have salary space, you're going to be in the LeBron James business because still at the age of 41 going on 42, he's still a productive starting caliber player. He's still good for, last year he averaged 20 points a game. You would assume he'd be somewhere, depending on how good the team is, somewhere in that 18 to 20 point per game range.
I think he's a top 15 player in the world still. Top 15 in the world right now.
He's still good and he's so smart. And so I think you put all those factors together. And I think a part of it is just like, yeah, this is the guy that's still wanted, right? So when I look at Rich Paul went on his podcast, gave a list of, I think, 10 teams. And I 100% believe all 10 of those teams have a standing offer for LeBron James. Now, I think you have to whittle that down, though. And I do, when I talk to teams around the league, when I do my research, the teams that continue to come up are Cleveland, Miami, Philadelphia after they got the Jaylen Brown. Like, Philadelphia was not in the picture. And I think that's why this is somewhat a true free agency for LeBron James, because he didn't go into it with a calculation in mind, a plan in place, because, you leave the Lakers, you don't necessarily know what your value is. There's not like a guaranteed max that he's walking into. There's not a guaranteed $20-30 million salary slot that you're walking into. So you have to be open-minded. So when the Sixers got Jaylen Brown, I did some research and I found out within 24 hours, like, he's taking their pitch really seriously. And so I look at it when I talk to teams now as kind of a hierarchy of Cleveland, Miami, Philadelphia. And then I think there's some teams on the periphery. Golden State is the team that, going into free agency was thought to be one of the leaders because his desire to play with Stephen Curry, his desire to play with Draymond Green, they're close. And by the way, breaking news here, I don't know if it is breaking news, LeBron James and Draymond Green are spending some time here together this week. And so LeBron is spending time
Here where exactly? In Akron playing golf or somewhere else?
Undisclosed location. I don't know if I can disclose the location. But that just goes to show, last week he's spending time with friends, with family, including there was video of him out and about in Akron with a group of his friends, longtime guys that he grew up with, including Brandon Weems, who's basically the number 2 executive with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So you think about Brandon Weems spending time with LeBron. I don't know if that's an inside track that the Cavs have there, but I think LeBron's been open-minded. But the Warriors' whole plan going into free agency was, okay, let's see if we can get.
I think it's no secret that LeBron James is one of the most dominant players in the NBA, and as he approaches the end of his career, the question on everyone's mind is, where will he finish his storied career? Will it be with the Lakers, or will he make a move to a new team? I believe that Cleveland, his hometown team, is making a strong push to bring him back. The Cavaliers have been busy this offseason, signing Donovan Mitchell to a max deal and creating cap space by having James Harden opt out of his contract. But what does this mean for LeBron's future? As I look at the situation, I think it's clear that Cleveland wants LeBron James. They want him to come back and finish his career where it all started. And I think LeBron is open to the idea. He's been spending time with friends and family in Akron, and there have even been reports of him playing golf with Draymond Green. But what does this mean for his future? Is he seriously considering a move to Cleveland, or is he just keeping his options open? I think it's a little bit of both. LeBron is a smart businessman, and he knows that he has to keep his options open. He can't just commit to one team without exploring all of his options. But at the same time, I think he's seriously considering a move to Cleveland. He's got a lot of ties to the city, and he's always spoken highly of the organization. And let's be real, the Cavaliers are a team on the rise. They've got a young core of players, and they're hungry to make a deep playoff run. But what about the other teams that are interested in LeBron? The Heat, the Sixers, and the Warriors are all reportedly interested in signing him. And let's not forget about the Lakers, who are still hoping to retain his services. I think it's going to be a wild offseason, and LeBron is going to have a lot of options to consider. But at the end of the day, I think Cleveland is the best fit for him. They've got the cap space, they've got the talent, and they've got the desire to bring him back. As I talk to teams around the league, I get the sense that Cleveland is the front-runner to sign LeBron. They've got the momentum, they've got the excitement, and they've got the passion. And let's not forget about the fans. The fans in Cleveland are some of the best in the league, and they would love to have LeBron back. They would pack the arena every night, and they would give him the support he needs to succeed. But what about the other factors that will influence LeBron's decision? What about the money, the talent, and the coaching? I think all of those factors will play a role in his decision. He's going to want to go to a team that can contend for a championship, and he's going to want to go to a team that can offer him a max contract. And let's not forget about the coaching. He's going to want to go to a team with a coach who can help him succeed, who can help him win a championship. As I look at the situation, I think Cleveland checks all of those boxes. They've got the talent, they've got the coaching, and they've got the cap space to offer him a max contract. And let's not forget about the intangibles. They've got the passion, they've got the excitement, and they've got the desire to bring him back. I think it's a perfect fit, and I think it's a move that would make sense for both LeBron and the Cavaliers. But what about the risks? What about the potential downsides of signing LeBron? I think there are a few risks to consider. First, there's the risk of injury. LeBron is getting older, and he's not as durable as he used to be. He's going to need to be careful, and he's going to need to make sure he's taking care of his body. And second, there's the risk of chemistry. The Cavaliers have a young core of players, and they're going to need to make sure that LeBron fits in with the team. They're going to need to make sure that he's not disrupting the chemistry, and that he's not causing any problems in the locker room. As I weigh the risks and the rewards, I think the rewards outweigh the risks. I think LeBron is a once-in-a-generation talent, and I think he's worth the risk. I think he's going to bring a level of excitement and passion to the team that's hard to match. And I think he's going to help the Cavaliers contend for a championship. So, as the offseason heats up, and as the rumors start to swirl, I think it's clear that Cleveland is the best fit for LeBron James. They've got the talent, they've got the coaching, and they've got the desire to bring him back. And I think it's a move that would make sense for both LeBron and the Cavaliers.